Okay, if you're a DIYer, you know for a fact that 65% of the time your expectations for a project is like here, and then reality is like here. Okay, so I made this for $3. My expectations were here, and then reality was like here. Like, I'm blown away that this was $3, and I'm super happy because I needed something for my dining room. I also already had this wreath, and I put a little hook here, and it's gonna go voila. But it's like my rough draft, and so ignore this side because I didn't measure right, but it doesn't matter because what I did was, you can see how I have this colored in pink. I made 4 copies of this piece right here. And then the black pieces, I made 6 copies of this piece right here. And then the same with the blue. The way I'm doing this, I actually don't need to measure any angles because I'm repeating the same 3 pieces. All I have to do is make my marks and then copy those as many times as needed, meaning 4 pinks, 6 blacks, and then 2 blues. And it didn't turn out perfect, but that's okay. They went together close enough. So now I'm just laying this out on my board, and I'm going to use tape to hold it together. If you're curious about what type of strips I used, I'm using the exact same ones I used from my DIY window video. And then if you want to know how to cut the wood without a power tool, I'll show that at the very end of the video because there were a few pieces I used a handsaw to cut. And now I'm just continuing to lay down the strips, and I'm using tape to kind of keep them in place as I go because it's on a board and they shift around. These strips are very, very thin. They're only 1/4 of an inch thick. So the glue gun holds it together really well. And I'm just gluing in between the tape for now. This is the back side of my wall decor. So this is the back. The glue gun goes on the back. And then while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the frame of the shutter together. And I'm doing it the same way. So the short pieces are 12 inches long, and then the longer pieces are 25.5 inches long. And I'm just using tape, same thing I did before, and then I'll use my glue gun to glue in between the tape. And you want to apply a decent amount of glue to the back. Once again, this is the back side, but you don't want to get it on the tape because now I'm going to remove the tape and I'm going to put a little bit more glue on there. The reason I'm doing this is when I flip this over for the front of the shutter, I'm going to be using super glue for more support. So now the hot glue has cooled and I'm applying super glue to the front of the shutter. So this is going to be the front, the part that you will see. And super glue dries pretty fast. That's why I'm using that instead of wood glue. And then I'm doing the same thing, rinse and repeat for the frame. And I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to take my X's, I guess you could call them, or crosses, and I'm going to just use brown and black spray paint. Okay, I use brown and black spray paint to paint the crosses. I'm just taking black acrylic paint and kind of dry brushing here and there. Nothing fancy. And I just did that until I was happy with the way it looked. And good enough for me. Same thing with the frame, except I used white spray paint, but I'm still dry brushing with black acrylic paint. And then you can see little man has woke up and he's wanting to help. Okay, so paint's dry. I'm just checking, kind of see how it looks. And I'm going to hot glue it together. Like I said, these strips are very thin and the hot glue will hold them. Easy. And I'm gluing down all the sides, pushing down as I go. And I'm just going to hold that till it cools. All right, and here it is. It's all dry. Like for $3, my mind is still blown. I'm so happy with this project. I made 2 of them, and I put them in my dining room. So here they are, especially with the wreath. I'm really happy how they turned out. Okay, here are the strips I got at Home Depot. Like I said, 96 cents for 6 feet long, and the hardest part is finding ones that aren't crazy catawampus. So if you don't have a powered saw, you can use a hand saw, and since these are so thin, it's really easy to cut through. Just slide the saw back and forth a few times, and it literally just snaps off. And this isn't hard on the arm, and it really doesn't take a lot of time. So the main thing to remember is always cut on the same side of the marked line, or cut exactly on the line to make it easier for the pieces to fit together. And mine didn't fit together perfectly, but it turned out fine. Ta-da!